Alright, so I'm going to do something that I have never tried before. This feature called Notion AI, which is creeping up all the time I open Notion. And I always wondered what this feature actually does. I have not tried it, and so in this video, let's just explore. Now, let me just see. I think, yes. So you click on this and you see Ask AI. And when you click on Ask AI, it says edit or review selection, improve writing. That's interesting. I sometimes write my blogs on Notion, and I do like the idea of editing it where you're writing it, so that makes it easier. Fix spelling and grammar with AI. Okay. Make shorter, make longer, change tone. I think I want to try this. Change tone. How would it look like? And so this sounds very interesting to me. And then simplify language. I guess that's kind of it's when I used to write support articles for startups, I used to find this very difficult to simplify my words. No matter how hard you try, it's always going to end up sounding a way too professional, jargon heavy. And then we have generate from selection. And so you see summarize, translate, explain, find action. So this is funny because I'm currently learning a new language, Dutch, and this will be an interesting one. So to see how this works, explain this, find actions. I'll be honest, I had never thought of using Notion AI. I do realize that it is like a supplementary to your core skill. So if you like writing and if you like ideating a lot, you can use AI as a person you brainstorm with. Oftentimes, it's helpful to chat with another person and the ideas start flowing in. So here's what I can do. Let's try. Okay, should I write here? This is my first line, and I want to explore AI. Sounds boring. I'm going to go ahead and. Okay, AI is writing. I guess I have to be in this box and tell AI what to do next. Interesting. Let's try something. Let's say I'm just going to pull up one of my blogs. Let's take the first para, right? And just let's do this and see how that works. So I'm going to write here, and so I can discard this, and let's give it a try. Let's take one sentence at a time. So here's a sentence. I recently interviewed with a top fintech in India for their product manager role. So I can say, ask AI to make it longer. Let's try that. And so it is saying, I recently had the opportunity to participate in an interview process with one of the leading fintech companies in India for the coveted position of product manager. A bit too much for my style. This is interesting. It's completely made up, right? It says, it's a huge assumption that it is an integral part of the company, but I get where this is going. Right. So this was experimenting with, I think I just have to press enter or maybe continue writing. And it goes on. This is interesting. So it probably is giving you a lot of versions of the same thing, and I have no idea. I just have to stop this and I can say insert below. Now, let me highlight what AI did in this one, and let me just color code that to green. Now, I want to work on this statement, which I said as part of my interview, I worked on a case study for the problem statement given by the company. Again, can I write this sentence in a different way? Of course I can. And I want to see what AI can do for me. So let's say ask AI. And this time I want to change the tone. And I don't know how professional this already is and how confident this already is. But what do I want to make it sound like? So let's say I want to make it more professional. Let's see what it does. In the course of my interview, I tackled a case study based on a problem statement given by the company. Interesting. I think it could work if I have a completely casual tone, like a line from a story, maybe, and then I'm trying to convert. So I'll have to experiment with this differently. I'll have to discard this one. I'm not really getting it. So let's try something else. Let's just improve writing. I don't know what it will do. Let's try. During my interview, I worked on a case study based on the problem statement provided by the company. I think this part is still fine. It's kind of same, right? I think I worked on a case study based on the problem statement. So yeah, there is a slight improvement here, which is, I could highlight it into green to see this makes more sense. During my interview is completely wrong because what I'm trying to convey is as part of my interview process, but I think that interview process is a missing input here. This is certainly part of the interview process, but not during the interview, if you know what I mean. Interview, I consider it as an interaction, but I think it's still fine. I want to try one more style. What can we do? Let's make it shorter. Oftentimes, this is actually my real struggle. So I start writing, and it becomes an endless. And I start talking, and it becomes an endless monologue. I would like to make this shorter, and I want to try this one. Okay, I have renamed the company as Bank Now and included their desired content in the case study apart from the problem statement. So my original sentence was too wordy. Yes, I can see the number of words have reduced. I have replaced the company name with Bank Now. That's my statement. And apart from the brief problem statement, I had received a separate note on what they wanted me to include in the study. So I'm trying to convey that it's a fake name and it's sort of a disclaimer. I have renamed the company as Bank Now is not quite the same sentiment as replacement. Replacement and renaming is, I don't know, it's not, I don't think that's the same idea. And included their desired content in the case study apart from the problem statement. Yeah, I think this is not it. It is not giving me the kind of expected response that I wanted. Let's ask AI again, and perhaps, yeah, when you make it shorter, I have substituted the company name. Now, this is a good, correct word usage. I have substituted the company name and incorporated the requirements in this case study from a separate note. So, yeah, the general idea is there, but at least I'm more comfortable with the word substitute rather than rename. So, rename has a whole different idea there. I want to see how it can summarize something. Okay, so let's take one section, which is I've talked about customer acquisition or go to market. So let's say this go to market already looks like a summary. It's not a big thing, but I want to ask AI to summarize it. Notion AI launch plan includes a closed beta launch with a single partner, a controlled public launch in tier 1 cities with aggregators or gig job providers. I have no idea what this means. Did it try to do? Okay, I think it did something else. I think it was considering everything. Let's try again. I don't know what it did. I want to summarize. It is not taking it, right? So of course context is missing, which is it's doing Notion AI. The launch strategy for Notion AI involves a closed beta launch with one partner, a controlled beta launch in tier one cities. So it is taking from here. What I'm seeing is there is an interesting mix here. If the way I see this feature working for me in my personal use case is, if I start writing a blog, I'm confused with whether it's too wordy. Does it need any editing? Does it need help in simplifying? Because oftentimes you can go into repeating yourself, so it could help there. Just by looking at this for now and in trying out few things, it's working out well. I do not know what Notion AI is how much of context is it considering before giving out, or is it simply taking one thing at a time or one line at a time and trying to just improve it. I'm not aware of those, but this was an interesting exploration of a feature which I had never tried before, and I think I might be able to use this in my regular day-to-day work.